So, good morning, everyone. Good morning to all you listening online. Welcome into the Gathering Echo New Testament Church. All of you that are here for the first time, welcome. All of you that have been here before, good to see you again. It's going to be a special day today. I'm going to start out by asking you a question. Let me read it so I don't get it wrong. What do you call a magician who's lost his magic? What do you call a magician who's lost his magic? Ian. It's because if you take the magic off of magician, it's Ian. Okay. There you go. Sorry. All right, here's something that you may remember a little bit. It'll be a little better. This will be a little better. This will be all right. So here's one that Michael gave me yesterday. This is not a joke. This is real. How many's heard the words abracadabra? Right? Everybody's heard the words abracadabra, right? Did you know it was really Hebrew? It's really Hebrew. It's from the words Ibra-kadabri. Ibra-kadabri. And the Hebrew meaning of Ibra-kadabri is I create as I speak. I create as I speak. Abracadabra. So, what are we creating? What are we creating with the words that we speak internally? What kind of world are you creating for yourself with the internal words that you are speaking? Because you can create all kinds of worlds with your internal words. Your internal words are creating the world that you're living in right now. So if you're living in a world of darkness and depression, your words created that. And they may not have been spoken words. They may have been words that are within your own mind, within your own heart. Lies that you believe and you keep perpetuating. You're living in the world that you're speaking. So let's create a better one. Turn to Matthew 18. Matthew 18, if you have your Bibles. We are human beings, not human becomings. We are human beings, not human becomings. Although we live life as if being itself is only achieved through what we will become. We are human beings, not human becomings, although we live life as if being itself can only be achieved through what you become. And it's false. You're being right now. Matthew 18. Just for the record, if you ever come and hear me speak, Matthew 18. Just already have it earmarked. That's where we'll be. Matthew 18. No mystery. There's no mystery to that. Matthew 18 every time I speak. Matthew 18. That's good. I like the way you say that. Yeah, that's where I'm going to be kicking the ball from every single time. Because I happen to believe that Matthew 18 is probably the most important and unrespected Scripture in the Bible. I mean, it is the most important in my opinion, but, opinions. So, although we live as if being itself is only achieved through becoming, now think about this, the education, the job, the marriage, the career, the college, the family, the car, the status, the knowledge, all those things you have tried to become, and all those things you set out to become. But there's one important thing that we don't do, especially here in the West, is we don't tell our children and reinforce to our children that they are not only becoming, they are being. Because if their becoming comes through their being, then God knows what we will become. I know this is kind of a play on words a little bit, but just kind of go with me here. If your child knows that they are being and they instinctively know they are, where do they lose that? That's the question. Where did you lose it? Where did you lose your being? When did your life become about what you do on Monday? When did your life become about where you go on Monday morning? Because that's the first thing you tell somebody when you shake their hand. What do you do? It's not about what you do. That's part of becoming. It's about who you are. So we shouldn't shake people's hand and say, what do you do? We should shake people's hand and say, who are you? And we should be educated enough within our being to be able to answer them and say, I am blank. Instead, well, I work here, or I work there, or I do this and I do that. It's all about what you do, not who you are. I'm saying that Jesus is trying to tell all of us it's about who we are, not about what we do. Because if we know who we are, and if we are in our being, eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor even entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for those that are called according to His purpose, for those that love Him. I know I kind of mixed two verses there, but that's okay. I like it when we mix paint, right? Kristen just did that last night. She came home from their little painting extravaganza here at the church. They painted some door hangers. This is funny. This is awesome. So the instructor told Kristen that, or told all of them, it's best if you do white, right? It's best if you do white background. Because if you do a white background, it's going to be better for us so we don't have to make like little paint to do touch-up. We'll have to make up a touch-up paint if you don't choose white for your background. So Kristen immediately, as the child, said, I'm not going to do white. Because that's just another box, right? That's just another wall. That's just another fence. That's just another, I know, it's paint. But really, so she mixed another paint and made her sign with like a mint color. Would it be mint? And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And the instructor came over to her and said, how did you do this? She said, I just mixed the colors up. So mix it up. Life, mix it up. Margie, look at that shirt, Margie. Stand up, Margie. Look at that shirt. Look how beautiful all those colors are on Margie. Somebody with the knowledge to mix something, sit down, thank you. Somebody with the knowledge to know that they could take a palette of color and make a pretty shirt, made that shirt for Margie. And now it's part of our world. Come on, this is going to be weird. I'm just going to, if you're expecting like something really philosophical, it's not going to be, all right? It's going to be strange, all right? Because we're living in a reality that our words create. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right. So, before we start Matthew, I want to read a little bit from, oh, God forgive me, my second Bible. This is Rick Rubin. I'm sorry. But you know what? He's the Son of God. I believe it. I believe He's the Son of God, so I take this to heart. I'm not saying this is the Scripture, please. I don't want to be burned at the stake today. Okay? All right. Most of the time, that's what happens a long time ago when you do stuff like this. Saying long time ago. Maybe in some countries too. All right. Most of the time, we are gathering data from the world through the five senses, with information that's being transmitted on higher frequencies. We are channeling energetic material that can't be physically grasped. It defies logic in the same way that an electron can be in two places at once. That is quantum mechanics, which we might get into. That excites me. This elusive energy is of great worth through though so few people are open enough to hold it. Quantum mechanics is something that even Einstein didn't believe. But it's proven now. Einstein would be on his deathbed trying to create an equation that would be an end around for quantum mechanics, and he didn't do it. Because quantum mechanics proves that an electron can be in two places at one time. And Einstein actually wrote the paper. The first paper on quantum mechanics was what Einstein won the Nobel Prize for, not his papers on relativity. So he wrote a paper on quantum mechanics that was about light. And he said that light is not only waves, but particles. And that revelation means that light can be in two places at once. I know light's everywhere. It's hard to comprehend. But an electron can be in two places at once. So light is wave and particles. And Einstein wrote the paper on that. But he chose to ignore the rest of it and try and prove another way because all his other calculations didn't add up. And that's what we do as men, as people. If it doesn't add up, then we don't believe it. Right? Even a lot of people that go to church, that don't add up. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't believe that. That ain't in the Bible. Except for the verse that says, eyes not seen, ears not heard, neither even entered into the heart of man. That verse is in the Bible, which means everything that happens could be possible. Jesus said anything is possible. So why are you listening to the preacher that preached to you the first time you heard a preacher? Say, if it ain't in the Bible, baby, don't believe it. If it ain't in the Bible, don't believe it. Love him. God love him. But Jesus said if anything's possible with God. Anything. All right, I'm going to keep going with Rick Rubin. How do we pick up on a signal that can neither be heard nor defined? The answer is not to look for it. Nor do we attempt to predict or analyze our way into it. Instead, we create an open space that allows it, a space so free of our normal overpacked condition of our minds that it functions as a vacuum, drawing down the ideas that the universe is making available, a black hole, if you will. That's what a black hole does. It just sucks stuff into it, right? Black holes are real, right? So you have to make your own black hole and suck down the information that the universe has given you, because I promise you the universe is giving you information. You're just not listening. That's why Jesus said, if you have an ear to hear, let him hear. He that hath an ear to hear, let him hear. I had an ear to hear what you said this morning, and I believe that was Don Doster walking these aisles because you had the faith to say what you saw. I can tell in your face you saw it, man. You're not making that up. We're not making this up. We're living from the vacuum. We're taking the information the universe has given us. So the freedom is not as difficult to achieve as one might think. We all start with it. As children, we experience much less interference between receiving ideas and internalizing them. We accept new information with delight instead of making comparisons to what we already believe. Did you hear that? We accept new information with delight instead of making comparisons to what we already believe. We live in the moment rather than worrying about future consequences. We are spontaneous more than analytical. We are curious, not jaded. Even the most ordinary experiences in life are met with a sense of awe. Deep sadness and intense excitement can come within moments of each other. Anybody that's had children knows that. They fall and bust their head wide open, bleeding, crying. It's bad. Snot and blood running down. Give them a sticker. Give them a sucker. Give them a popsicle. And they will lick that popsicle through that snot and blood and be happy as you have ever seen that child, forgetting about the massive hole. Y'all are looking at me like this is crazy. It's real. That's real. That's phenomenal. Because we would tell everybody in our work life that for the next 10 months. Oh, I fell and hit. You remember when I fell and hit my head? God, I'm still messed up about it. I'm still hurting. It's still sore. Good God, look at it. It just won't heal. It just won't heal. It won't heal because you're saying those words over and over again. That wound's like, oh, I'm just going to be here forever. But a child will move on, right? All right. So, deep sadness and intense excitement can come within moments of each other. There's no facade or an attachment to a story. Bingo. There's no attachment to a story. You're attached to your story. You can't help but be. We all have a story. We all have a story. We're attached to it. But children are not. Children are not attached to a story. They are new every second they live. All right? Artists who are able to continually create great works throughout their lives often manage to preserve these childlike qualities. Practicing a way of being that allows you to see the world through uncorrupted, innocent eyes can free you to act in concert with the universe's timetable. All right, that's enough of Rick Rubin. He's great. I recommend. I'm gonna pitch some books. I'm gonna pitch some books for all of you watching online. This is Rick Rubin, The Creative Act. I dare you to buy it. It will change the way you think, which is what repentance means. But who's keeping score? All right. Matthew 18. If you still believe that repentance means you got to act better, good luck on that. Good luck on acting better. I just got to get my act straightened up. All right. Matthew 18. So, I preached a message, it's almost been a year now, called Babyface. Who was here for Babyface? Remember Babyface? That's where we talked about Peter and Jesus going to the temple. Peter and Jesus go to the temple with the other disciples. This is the end of Matthew 17. So I'm going to kind of catch you up to Matthew 18, okay? I'm going to kind of just say it real quick. So Peter and Jesus and the disciples are going into the temple, and the temple man says, the tax man says, "Is your master not going to pay temple tax?" And Peter says, of course he's going to pay temple tax, because Peter is the man, right? Peter says, of course he's going to pay temple tax. And Jesus says, oh, come here, Peter. Stupid. Come here. What are you talking about? I'm going to pay temple tax. Because you're over the age of 18, Jesus, just like me. We got to pay temple tax. Oh, do we? He said, do we have to pay temple tax, Peter? Yeah, we got to pay temple tax. Okay, well, let me ask you this. Does the king of a land make his children pay taxes? No. So the kids don't pay taxes if their daddy's the king, right? So the kids get in for free, right? Peter's like, yeah. Jesus says, so, you're telling me I'm not a kid. You're saying you're not a kid. Here's what you're going to do. Since you said you're going to pay temple tax, you're going to go get your fishing reel and go to the pond over there and catch a fish. And in that fish's mouth is going to be a coin. And that coin will be enough for me and you. And Peter, the fisherman, looked at Jesus probably like you're looking at me right now. What are you talking about? Go catch a fish? This is an experienced fisherman. That's what he did for a living. Probably not used to carrying Opie's cane pole. For the younger generation, I'm sorry, you should know what that means. Oh, man. Anyway, but he's carrying his cane pole to the water, right? He throws the line in the water, and what happens? He catches a fish with a coin in his mouth. Pretty weird, right? But it's in the Bible. We don't hear much about it, but it's in the Bible. Because Jesus was telling Peter to be what? Amen. It's a wonder. Peter was telling Jesus to be a kid again. Jesus was telling Peter to be a kid again. Sorry. Jesus was telling Peter to be a kid again. So Peter goes and catches that fish with the coin in his mouth, and I just want to see what that looked like when he pulled that fish up out of the water and said, oh my God, it's really got a coin in its mouth. That's so cool. He sticks it in his pocket and he throws that little stick down and he's marching back to the temple. And here we have Matthew 18. All right? This is the setup because that's what had just happened, because Matthew 18 starts with these 4 words. At the same time came the disciples unto Jesus, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus is like, oh, what a time for you to ask that. Who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? I'm not going to send you guys after a fish because you guys are young enough to come in, right? We learned that, right? Because technically, if Jesus and Peter had to pay temple tax, it didn't say anything else about the other disciples having to pay temple tax. What does that mean? That means that Jesus and Peter were the only 2 disciples over the age of 18, which means that Jesus was walking around with a bunch of youngins. Rethink the way you see Scripture. Jesus was walking around with kids. So the other kids go in the temple. The other disciples, why did he say children all the time? Oh my goodness, could it be? Yes, it could be. Yes, children. He said children all the time. We think he's saying that spiritually, right? No, he's saying it because they're literally kids. Children. Listen, kids. Jesus like telling the disciples, they're acting up, right? I'm like, man, I'm trying to tell you, kids, children. Calm down just a minute. I'm trying to say something important. Children. So his children, his disciples come up and say, who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? Of course, Jesus says what? Jesus called a little child unto him, set him in the midst, and said, verily I say unto you, except you be converted. Of course, converted means strepho, which means to twist. Okay, we're going to come back to that word. As little children, unless you are converted and become as little children, you shall not enter the kingdom of heaven. That's a bold statement, Cotton. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how that plays out for you. That's pretty bold for Jesus to say, if you don't become as a child, you won't enter the kingdom. What if that was the prerequisite for church membership? If you can't become a child, you can't come to church here. Oh! Oh! What if that was the prerequisite for you having to be a member of the church you're at? You're not kid enough. Sorry. You're not welcome on the playground. You're telling me that I can't paint my board the color I want to paint my door hanger. I can paint the door hanger whatever color I'd like. Yes, you can. Come on, man. So, don't forget about Peter. He's just like, yeah, who will come? I'm coming back to the temple. I got my coin. Life's amazing. Life's amazing. I love Jesus. I forgot how much I love Jesus, but he reminded me pretty much like we are on Sundays after church. Oh, God, nothing can stop me until I get to work on Monday. God bless it. Oh, man. How you doing? I'm doing all right. Did you have a good weekend? It was all right. What'd you do? Oh, nothing. We're so boring. We're so boring. We're so boring. Abracadabra. What are you creating, for God's sakes? What are you creating with your life? A boring weekend? For God's sakes, man. I'm going to move on before I say curse words. All right? Because it's not, it should bless. And blessing and cursing shouldn't come out of the same mouth. That's in the Bible. It shouldn't come out of the same mouth. I don't think it's talking about like literal cuss words that you want to use to not tell people to talk like that. I think it's basically talking like, stop telling people they're going to hell, right? Stop telling people they're going to hell, because that's a curse. Instead of looking at the man who cusses like a sailor and say, you cussing like that, you're going to hell. No, you're the one that's cursing. You just cursed the man to hell. That man's just talking. He may be praying. Read through the Bible and find prayers. You'll find prayers where there's cursing. You'll find prayers where there's all kinds of stuff said. Read some of Joe's prayers. Come on. Right. He cursed it all. David, come on. And here we are going, oh, man, I got to pray for Billy at work. He's got a foul mouth. Billy, you better get your mouth straight or you're going to go to hell. You just cursed Billy. What a wonderful kingdom this is. It's everything's upside down, you see. Everything you've been taught is literally upside down. So what are we here to do? To flip it right side up. We're here to flip things right side up. I feel Jesus all over me. Oh, man. Okay, because the word become is... we've all butchered this word, so I'm going to try and say it. I'm the worst at this word. But it's genomai. Genomai. That is what the word become is in Greek. Now that word means to cause to be. To cause to be. Not become. To cause to be. Brent taught me something because I am not a scholar. Brent is. I asked Brent, is this... I see there's a little parentheses in the Strong's that says this is reflexive. Does this mean that it's saying reflex? And Brent's like, no, it doesn't mean it's saying reflex. It means it's a reflexive verb, which means that the verb is receiving and doing the action. That's a reflexive verb. It means you're doing and receiving the action. Problem with the word becoming is you're not doing anything. The problem with the word becoming is you're actively doing nothing. Because you're saying, I'll be when I do. God says you are, so do. This is why I'll never get out of Matthew 18. Ever. Jesus, thank you for your love for us. All right. Arise, be assembled, come into being. So, since I misunderstood what a reflexive verb was, and I thought it was part of the definition, reflex, I took reflex and ran with it. And God took my stupidity and gave me the title for today's message. It's the kid reflex. Because guess what the reflexive verb is? It's literally a reflex. Even though it's not in the definition, it's literally a reflex. How many, think about the reflexes that are so important for a baby when they're born. You got the rootin' reflex. You got the suck reflex, pretty important, right? The Moro reflex. Moro reflex is kind of like the startle reflex. And we all just laugh. The baby's terrified. Oh, he's so cute. What is this world? What is this world? The baby literally for 9 months has been like this. Could you imagine 9 months you were like this and then somebody starts jerking on your limbs? There's no wonder the baby does that. But that's a reflex. The tonic neck reflex, which is a baby's head is turned to one side, blah, blah, blah. Grasp reflex, stroking the palm. Here's my favorite one. This is my favorite baby reflex. Stepping reflex. This reflex is also called the walking or dancing reflex. This is where they take the baby and they hold him up over the table and the legs start, the toes start, and the baby's like, I like this place now. I like this place a lot. I can spread out in here. It's a little bit better than where I was, man. Whew. Man, that baby's going through a lot, and we're just like, oh, he's so precious. He's really, it takes him a few minutes to look not like an alien. My dad tells the story when I was born. He's like, I was so terrified when you came out. This is why I love talking to men, because we don't have to cut through all the, cute stuff. Dad's like, you were ugly when you were born. You look so bad. I'm like, thanks, Dad. It's awesome. He's like, no, man, they use this vacuum cleaner to get you out. They use a vacuum to get you out, and they sucked you out of there, and when you came out, everything looked normal except your head. And your head looked like Dan Aykroyd. And he said, and then you looked at me and went, Mah! No, I didn't. No, that wasn't cool. That was not true. That part was not true. That part was not true. But my dad really said, doctor, because the doctor, they're in there measuring, and they're like, oh, it's a perfect baby. And Dad's just kind of quietly standing in the corner like, they don't have the heart to tell me. They don't have the heart to tell me I have given birth to the seed of Satan. And then he asked the doctor, what's wrong with his head? What? It can't be the way my son will look. The doctor's like, no, the skull's basically just rubber now, and it'll kind of just boom back into place. And they said, see, just like when you pull his one, everything will reflex back into normal. So that was not planned, sorry. But anyway, it's a reflex. So it's a reflex. Think with me. I know there's a lot going on and we're ADD, but think with me. Yeah, there's people walking out. Y'all are like, oh, where are they going? Where are they going? It's okay. It's fine. No, it's fine. But we're like, no matter what room we're in, we all do the same thing. If it's kind of like somebody's in this setting, don't feel bad. I'm not getting on you. I just love us. I love everything about us. I'm beginning to fall back in love with the people that religion told me to hate. Sorry. I'm beginning to fall back in love with people that people said they don't belong. They're not here. They're not there. I feel Jesus telling me to do this right now. So this is an achievement award from my little girl. I went to the schoolhouse the other day, and she received an achievement award for being fair. So fairness is really inclusion, because the principal said that we're recognizing Melody because she seeks out all the kids that are not included and includes them in. So there she is receiving her award. Yeah, give her a hand, Jonathan. That's a great idea. So, jump down to verse 11. For the Son of Man has come to save that which was lost. So when my little girl's in the schoolyard looking for somebody that's behind, she's doing exactly what Jesus did. She's literally Jesus. She's literally God. She's literally God, and mankind is recognizing that. She's literally God, including others, which is the very thing that our churches don't do for a lot, the big part of them. Not condemning every church. Please, if you're listening online, this is not a condemnation on every church. Please, this is not a condemnation on our church. I'm just saying, we have to include people that don't look like us, talk like us, think like us, walk like us, dress like us, have cars like us, have jobs like us, have food like us, have family like us, have saneness like common sense that we would call it, right? We have to include those people. We need to stop looking for everybody that wears a polo shirt. We want everybody in here. Everybody's included. Everybody's included. Doesn't matter what you're wearing, what you're dressed on, what you're dressed like, where you've been, what you look like, you're included because Jesus included everybody, and so is my daughter. Thank you, Father. All right. It's a reflexive verb. So Jesus says in verse 4, whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoso shall receive dekamai, one such little one in my name, receiveth me. So he's literally saying, if you could receive the childlike, you're receiving me. Well, how do you receive the childlike? It's a reflex. It's a reflex. Jerry. See what he did? See what he did? For that split second, he was not attached to a narrative. For that split second, he wasn't attached to his story. For that split second, he knew exactly who he was. He was Jerry. He was the kid. It's a reflex. You want to hear something else? Do I have my phone on? It's over here. Sorry. I got to show you something. I want to let you hear another reflex. I'll let you hear this one. Yeah, it's getting weirder. It's getting weirder. Sorry, that was the Tennessee game. Why do we all love that sound? Yeah, it's cute, but I'm so sick of hearing cute. I'm sick of hearing cute. It's the woman's word for everything. We need to be more creative with our words. It's more than cute. It's more than cute. Oh, it's cute. Stop. Everything's cute with you. It's awesome. Oh, but it's also cute. Okay, we can agree. We can agree. I don't want to lessen what you just heard. It is the sound of your freedom. And that's the reason when you hear that, you reflex immediately back to a place that you don't even remember. What is that kid worried about? What has he ever experienced? Come on, man. That is the sound of freedom. Come on. Oh, thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. All right. Matthew 19. If you're having trouble finding it, it should be on the same page or the next one. Matthew 19. Sorry. Yep, I'm in rare form today, guys. All right, verse 13. Matthew 19. Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you. What a compliment. All right, verse 13. Then were there brought unto him little children that he should put his hands on them and pray, and the disciples rebuked them. Love this verse. But Jesus said, suffer little children and forbid them not to come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of heaven. and he laid his hands on them and departed thence. Keep going. There's a reason that these two events are sequential, because he's about to talk about the guy that had everything. All right? So they bring the kids to Jesus. He starts blessing them. He's blessing the kids, just like you seen Credence come up here a minute ago. She's jumping all around, dancing, having a party. They bring the kids to Jesus. He starts praying over them, blessing them. And then his disciples, act as the deacon board. You need to sit down. Get them out of here. Get them on out of here. Not this deacon board. Not this deacon board. Our deacon board is like, hey, welcome in, babies. Welcome in, children. But other deacon boards that I've been a part of are like, no. Get them out of here. Sit down. They need to know how to behave in the house of God. They need to know how to behave in the house of God. This is a reverent place. Except the God that we're worshiping is Jesus, who's blessing these snotty-nosed kids, and his disciples say, get them out of here. And Jesus is saying, this is the point. Not your church service. Not your bulletin. Not your order. Your order is disguised. Your order is really chaos. Your order that you're pushing down my throat is really chaos. This order that we've all been given our whole life, from church to school to everything, it's really chaos. And I feel like we need to be child enough and kid enough to stand up and say, this isn't order, this is disorder. Abracadabra is order. With my words, I create. With my words, I create. Jesus, man, come on. This guy walks up to Jesus, verse number 16. And behold, one came and said unto him, good master, what good things shall I do? Notice his language. What good thing shall I do? What shall I become? We even translated it wrong in 1611. Jesus said, you must become as a little child. That is impossible, because you already are. And it's a reflex. The word is a reflexive verb, which means that it is as simple as hearing, Scott, you're that close to being switched back on and everything being alive and everything being filled with color. That close. It's not about you becoming anything. It's about who you are. Moses tried to become all kinds of things until he walked up to the burning bush. And the burning bush, just like when they put that baby in those toes, touched the surface and it starts the dancing reflex. God said, Moses, take your shoes off. You're standing on holy ground. And he did the dancing reflex yet again like he did when he was a baby. His feet touched the earth. We're one with this massive, beautiful planet that the world and the church and science is telling us that there's no hope for. And I'm telling you, there is hope. There is hope for this world. There is hope for this universe. There is hope for us. What if everything's not going to hell? What if everything is not falling apart? What if everything is really coming together? Did you know you could even do this in your psyche, in your psychological thoughts? When you start having a depressing thought, that happens all the time. It happens all the time. You start having a depressive thought, and then you're going down. I'm going down. I'm going down. I'm going down. They said all you got to do is this. Count backwards from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then say, what if everything works out? You know what you just did? You threw a big kink in the hose that's pumping all that negativity and condemnation into your brain. And then your brain said, oh, wait a minute, what if it works out? So this is how our brain works. It's like, oh, man, it's going to hell, it's going to hell, it's going to hell. What if everything works out? That was weird. It's going to hell, it's going to, what if everything works out? It's going to hell. What if everything works out? What if everything works out? And then now you're talking right? Abracadabra. With your words, you create a brand new world. The reason you don't want to leave your house, the reason you don't want to go anywhere, the reason you don't want to get out of your bedroom, the reason you don't want to go out into the world is because you're living in an alternate reality that was never supposed to be you.
Come on, man. That's the reason we have weekends when we go to work and we say, oh, it was all right, didn't do much. With our words, we create. Let's get out there and do something for God's sake. Let's go up to somebody that needs you for God's sake. For somebody that needs to hear you like somebody needed to hear my little girl. Come up and include them. They're hearing Jesus without ever going to a church. They're hearing Jesus. They're feeling Jesus without ever going to a church. Come on, this is life. This is creativity. This is creativity. This is the reflex. This is the kid reflex. All right, man. Oh, I got so much to say, but I'm going to try and go a little bit faster so I can cover a little bit more ground. So forgive me if I talk a little bit faster. I have a lot to say. I literally was up, feels like all night. I studied from like 12 o'clock yesterday to now, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I know. I want to share what you're reading is correct. I'm excited. Just to make sure that if you're wondering, I believe this junk. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw you off. Of course, I'm just being a kid. We're so serious about everything. You can't say that. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. I'll paint my door hanger whatever color I want to. Whoo. All right. Keep going. Jump to verse number 20. The young man said unto him, Jesus just said, all right, why do you call me good? None calls me good except God. None is good except God. So why are you calling me good? And the young man says, well, I'm just a good dude, man. So what do I need to do? I'm just a good dude. So what do I need to do? Jesus is like, have you kept the commandments? He's like, oh yeah, every one of them. Just answer so casually. I've never broken the law. It's amazing Jesus didn't like immediately say, blasphemer! And rip his garments like they did when he said that. But he didn't respond like that. What did he say? He said, oh, you've kept the commandments. And the little boy says, yes, very key words here. From my youth up. So let's talk about before the youth, right? Before your youth up. Because your youth up, you're being indoctrinated on how to become something that you already are. All right? Jesus said unto him, here you go. This is huge. Jesus said unto him, if thou will be perfect, oh, how many times did I read that verse as a kid? Nobody was there to explain it to me. I was there thinking, if I could just be perfect. If I could just be perfect. Nobody had the courage to say, you're reading an old Bible with old language that is a mistranslation. Because the word means complete. Reflex. It's not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming complete. And you can only become complete when you get back to that laugh that Marshall just had. That's completeness. If you want to be perfect, if you want to be complete, here's what he says. Go and sell all that you have and give to the poor, that thou shalt receive treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. And the kid was very sad. Paul. Very sad. Very likely that was Paul of Tarsus. We got plenty of messages on that. We'll hit you up with them. If you got any questions, just link in the comments. If you want to see those messages, we're going to put them down below sometime. Come back to this post and we'll hit you up with that. All right? But the kid was really sad because he had became all the things everybody told him to become. Except when he saw Jesus, something in him said, what do I need to do? Because all this stuff looks insufficient compared to the spirit or the aura that I'm feeling from you. And Jesus says, okay, if you want to be perfect, get rid of all that junk. Can I say junk now? Get rid of all that junk. It's exactly what happened to Einstein when he faced quantum mechanics. It's exactly what happened to Einstein when he looked at quantum mechanics. It was his choice to go on the journey. But he didn't have the courage to follow the numbers. The numbers were leading him to quantum mechanics. The numbers were leading him to the place where a proton can be in two places at once.
He wouldn't follow the numbers. Why? Because he was smart, right? Einstein, man. Are you really here to tell me that Einstein wasn't smart? On this note, yes, I am. Oh, I can't believe he would do that. Listen to that scholarly, just smug attitude that we all have within ourselves. I can't believe this person would come in here and say, Einstein is Einstein. He's smart. Not in this regard. He didn't have courage to do what the young man didn't have courage to do, right? The young man didn't want to sell his possessions. That was who he was. Remember, how are you doing? What do you do? Well, I've got all this stuff. Look at all this stuff. That's who I am. I got a boat. I got a house. I got a car. I got a wife. I got a pool. I got a camper. This is a song I feel like I'm making. I don't know what's happening. You got all that junk. What good thing can I do? Sell all that and start over. Because none of that is who you are. Who you are is with me. And the kid couldn't do it. Till later in life. Till he got ramsacked on the road to Damascus. All right. I think I'm going to jump away from that. I'm going to read something out of 1 Corinthians 2. You don't have to turn. Listen to this. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God. This is 1 Corinthians 2. If you want to turn there, you can. 1 Corinthians 2, verse 14. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God. He doesn't receive the things of the Spirit of God. Why? For they are foolishness unto him. Much like what I'm saying to you, I guess. Neither can he know them. That word know really means resolve. See? Just that one little change in word changes the way you look at that verse, right? It's not that he can't know them, it's that he can't figure them out. It's that he can't work out the equation. The natural man can't resolve the things of God. Neither could Einstein resolve quantum mechanics. You know what quantum mechanics proves, period? Quantum mechanics proves that matter came after consciousness. And if matter came after consciousness, you have to introduce the idea of God. Science is already there. They're just too scared to say it. They're chickens. They're big, fat chickens. They've already discovered quantum mechanics, which is proving God. They're just too chicken to sell all their stuff to the poor and start it over. Man, I feel Jesus, man. Come on. For they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, resolve them, because they are spiritually discerned. Anakrino, that's discerned. But he that is spiritual judgeth. There's another favorite word growing up, right? Judge. Got to judge a man. You're doing God's work when you're judging a man. Righteous judgment. Yeah, you got to go up to him and tell him, can't say all those curse words and drink all that beer. And go to those places on Friday night. That's righteous judgment. Except judgment is a bad translation there. It's anakrino. Do you want to know what anakrino means? This is awesome. To scrutinize, investigate, interrogate, determine. Want me to keep going? Okay, I will. Ask, question, examine, search. Everything my son does in the kitchen, when we let him get in the cabinets and pull out all of our Tupperware and everything that you could imagine. And you look at us and you say, that's crazy. Why would you let him do that? Well, we've got the knives locked up and we got the bad stuff that's going to hurt him out of the way. But other than that, we give him free reign in our kitchen to come and explore because the kid needs to break the egg. The kid needs to break the egg. You see, from an early age, we've been told we can't break the egg. You can't break the egg. You can't break the egg. You can't break the egg. But then when you break the egg and you understand you broke the egg, and when you broke the egg, you don't have the egg anymore. It teaches you to appreciate eggs. So then you look at the next egg that you get and say, I'm not going to break this one. I'm going to eat this one. And then when you eat it, quantum mechanics starts happening. Jesus called it communion. The food you eat literally becomes your cells. Do you know when we take communion, that's what happens? Francois taught us this as we had dinner with him that night. He said, do you know the very food that you're eating will go into your digestive system and become the cells. Your food will literally become who you are. So when we take the cracker or the wafer, and we take the bread and we take the wine or the Welch's grape juice, when we do those things, the food is literally becoming us. So when Jesus says, take my body and eat, this is my body broken for you, you are taking that sacrifice, and it is literally becoming your existence. See, it's very practical. We've been told that the communion, some of you won't even take it for God's sake because you believe all this crap that everybody's told you to believe. Oh, don't take it, don't take it, don't take it. He'll kill you. It's not what the Scripture says. You know how you take the communion unworthily? When you take it and you don't believe that you're worthy. That's taking the communion unworthy. You take it and you think you're not worthy to take it, then you're not even believing in the sacrament. You got to believe it. Why would you be worthy? Because this body was broken for you. Why would you be worthy? Because this blood was spilled for you. Jesus, as the immaculate child, was crucified. That's why it was such a horror, because he was a big kid on the cross. Mankind took childlike and murdered it, only to see it come back alive. Just like it's going to reflex and come back alive for you. Just like it's reflexed and come back alive for me. All right. All right. So I feel good about where I'm at right there. This next part is going to be really, really a stretch for you to... I don't want to say grasp. It probably won't be palatable, which means it's great. It's going to be awesome. All right. So, anakrino means what? Remember? Search out, find out, explore. That's what we're supposed to be doing. So, I forgot about this. This is the best part. All right. So, when the disciples are like, all right, so he tells the disciples after the rich man, right? After the rich man leaves, he tells the disciples, all right, listen, it's real hard for a rich man to go to heaven. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle, right? And then Peter's like, because it's Peter, right? He had the most skin in the game. He gave up the most. He sacrificed the most. He left his wife, his belongings, and followed Jesus. So Peter says, we've done that. We've done what you told him to do. We've followed all. What's next? What do we get? And Jesus says, the 12 of you will sit on 12 thrones and judge the 12 tribes of Israel. And of course, in our mind, that's like, they get to be judges in the afterlife. Oh, no, yes, no. That's so boring. You know what it is? Anakrino. They get to be the ones that explore creation, just like you get to be. They get to be the ones that scrutinize, investigate, interrogate, determine, ask, question, examine, search. Childlike. That's childlike. Why? That's what my kids say. Why? We got to go here. Why? Don't break the egg. Why? Why? That's judging. That's the new definition. Why? So instead of shaking somebody, hey, how are you doing? Oh, you didn't have a good weekend? Why? Oh, I don't know. I just didn't do anything. I guess it was all right. Oh, so you're saying you had a pretty good weekend? Well, it was okay. What'd you do? Nothing. Well, that can't be true. Why? How could you possibly do nothing? Did you breathe? Well, yeah, I breathed. So your weekend wasn't boring. You got to be alive. That's bigger than anybody that's dead right now. So we're already making progress to your weekend that it wasn't as bad as you say it was. We're in the land of the living. I don't know if you checked. Oh, I did breathe. Well, what else did you do Saturday? Oh, well, I mowed the grass. Wow! You mowed the grass? Yeah, I hated to do it. Well, what did you want to be doing? I don't know, nothing. What?
What is this existence? What do you define as, okay, so let me get your definition of nothing. Nothing is sitting in front of the TV. You know, that's a pretty good definition. That's nothing. I mean, really, that's pretty much as close to nothing as we can get. You know that I have read 2 books since the Braves got put out in the playoffs, and I feel amazing. You know why? Because I'm not watching sports. I'm reading books. And when you read books, you have ideas. I'm a Braves fan, man. I love the Braves. Sure, it's great. It's awesome. They sucked this year. You know what that meant? I got to get, they were actually a great team. But you know what? Didn't matter. They lost. Who cares? All that time I spent watching the Braves, you know what it amounted to? Nothing. Isn't it marvelous? Look at this big pile of nothing I've gained from watching this team. And they get put out, and all of a sudden I feel great. I'm going to read 2 books. And now I'm in here talking to y'all like I'm crazy. Who do you pull for, the Cowboys? I'm sorry, that was so cold. It was such a setup, man. It was such a setup. God, it was great. It was great. Oh, it was so much fun. All right, man. All right, sorry. Oh, man. Wow. All right, one more thing before I get stupid, all right? Thank you for, it's a major, no, I really, you don't have to apologize. That what you just did is what I love about you. That's the kid in you. Everything's not so serious. Everything's not, I said, because I'm gonna do something before I get stupid. And she's like, you already are. You know what that was? A joke. How stupid would I be if I thought she was serious? That's stupid. But we baby and we coddle each other like we can't even be ourselves around. Oh, I think I offended you. Blessed are those who are not offended in me. Blessed are those who are not offended. You know what offense is, for God's sake? It means to scandalize. You think she really scandalized me by saying I'm stupid? No, man. I know she's kidding. We're kidding. We're having fun. You know what kids do? They have fun. They pick on each other. They call each other names. It's funny. This is awesome. You're such a loser. You're a loser. You're a loser. There's nothing like playing a game and shoving it in my little brother's face. I remember, bro. Hey, and you did the same thing to me. So don't, you know. But like when we were little, we were Stone Cold Steve Austin on the trampoline, and he was The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and we were taking Dad's sun drops and smashing them like they were beer. Yeah. And I would body slam him and pin him down and throw him off the trampoline. You know what I would say? You're such a loser. Go cry to mama. Go cry to mama. And you're like, oh, the trauma. It wasn't trauma, baby. That's why I am who I am by the grace of God. It's not trauma. That's kids. Lighten up. Literally. Photos. Lighten up. Turn the lights on. Yeah, let it come out. It's awesome. Be who you are, man. All right. Let he that hath an ear hear. Oh, yeah. Before I get stupid, I wanted to say one more thing. For who hath he that is spiritual judgeth all things. Judgeth and akrino. No. Searcheth out all things. For who hath known the mind of the Lord that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of Christ. Oh, boy. I told you. I prepared you. So, I prepared you. Last week, I'm going to need some water. Hold on. Hang tight with me just a little bit longer, okay? You're just going to go home and do nothing. Oh, I got to get out of here. I got nothing to do. Nothing makes me happier than doing nothing. For God's sake. Curtis sent me a song last week. Curtis Kelly Wilson sent me a song last week. Yeah, I heard him. It was by Supertramp. The band was called Supertramp. And if you're offended by that, good. You know what the song was?
The logical song. Hold on. Right key. When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful. A miracle. Oh, it was beautiful, magical. And all the birds in the trees. Who's heard this song? Oh, yeah. I'm hitting on the right song. And all the birds in the trees, well, they'd be singing so happily, oh, joyfully, playfully watching me. But then they sent me away to teach me how to be sensible, logical, oh, responsible, practical. And then they showed me a world where I could be so dependable, oh, clinical, oh, intellectual, cynical. Verse 2. I said, now watch what you say, because they'll be calling you a radical, a liberal, oh, a fanatical, a criminal. Oh, won't you sign up your name? We'd like to make you feel like you're acceptable. Adam Sandler came out, I'm sorry. There are times when all the world's asleep, doing nothing, watching the Braves. And the questions run too deep for such a simple man. Won't you please, please tell me what we've learned? I know it sounds absurd. Please tell me who I am. Oh, come on. Y'all got to go with me, right? Who I am. Who I am. And then the second. Golly, that's such a God song. Whoa! Supertramp, man. Supertramp was hitting on some Jesus vibes. Good God, when Curtis sent me that, I thought I was going to come unfreaking glued, man. Because you know what that song is telling me? That I'm hitting the right vibes. I'm walking the right way. I'm doing the right thing. Because I'm ministering and somebody from another generation hears what I'm saying and says, look what I found. We've been already saying this. You're not the first one. I know I'm not the first one. So guess what? Come say it with me. Come say it with me. I don't want to be logical. I don't want to be sensical. I don't want to be a vegetable. That's what it says. It's what it says. Respectable, presentable, a vegetable. You're a vegetable sitting there watching the cooking channel. Now that's practical. That's practical. Michael's offended. You're such a loser. You're such a loser. What a loser. What if we handled our church squabbles like that? Oh, I'm never going back. You should have just said you're stupid and moved on. Oh, I don't go to that church no more. They called me something. You know what? You're stupid for leaving. Because all you're going to do is go find another church where somebody's going to say something else to piss you off, and you won't go there either. Oh, did he really just say that? Yes, I did. It's the freaking truth, man. I can't believe he's talking like that. This is how I talk when I'm at home. Why should I talk different in here? Like the rest of everybody else that goes to church and acts like something they're not. I'm talking your language. You're watching right now, and this is hitting you in ways you've never even imagined. It's the truth, man. It's the truth. You went and you became logical, presentable, cynical, and you quit believing. You stopped the magic. You want to know? You want to know? Oh, my God. You want to know what's magical about it? Curtis sent me that song. Get ready. Oh my God. It's so beautiful. Curtis sent me that song. A day later, that song came out in 1979. One day later, David Guetta and Kim Petras
people I don't even know. But Kristen told me, oh my God, David Guetta. I'm like, who's David Guetta? Is he cute? Is he cute? Cute? Remember cute? He's cute. Anyway, I didn't ask that, but I just had to finish the joke from earlier. David Guetta is evidently this awesome, what's the word I'm looking for? DJ. Thank you. He's this awesome DJ, right? David Guetta and Kim Petras decided to release a song together. They decided to collaborate. You know what collaboration is? That's quantum mechanics. That's the universe coming together. So Kim Petras and David Guetta decided they was going to go back into the archives and pull up a song, and the song they decided to pull up was the Logical song, and it came out the day after Curtis sent me the original version. So put that in your Logical pipe and smoke it. Put that in your Logical pipe and smoke it. Tell me how the universe concocted that mysterious wonder. Or is everything what we create? Or is it abracadabra? With my words I create. Come on, man. All right. Oh, I'm not going to omit this. Remember the verse that said, our weapons are not carnal, right? Our weapons are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, right? Because that's talking about the demons that you have to kill with your sword. Whatever. What was that guy's name? Spiritual warfare guy. John Hagee got you swinging an invisible sword that don't exist. Fighting a demon that doesn't exist. It's stupid. It really means the weapons of our warfare are spiritual, not carnal, because Paul's talking in response to some people that were making fun of him. They were saying, he talks a big game when he comes and preaches to y'all, but he's really weak and little and small. And Paul's like, they can call me whatever I want to. I don't have to fight back with those weapons. The weapons of our warfare are spiritual. I don't have to go joust with them because they're a human being. I'm a spiritual being, which means I judge all things, which is akrino. I forgot the word. Akrino, which means to search out. Paul's like, I search out all things, so let me search this out. What should I say? Our weapons are not carnal, but mighty, possible. Remember what Jesus said about the rich young ruler, right? It's hard for a rich man to go to heaven. And it's impossible with man, anthropos, logical. But all things are possible with God. So Paul's hitting on that. Come on. He says all things are possible. He says God, our weapons are mighty, possible through God to the pulling down of strongholds, to fortify a castle. It's a fortified castle. A stronghold's a fortified castle. A fortified argument. A fortified argument. Hang tight with me just a little bit longer. I know you're on a race to get to nowhere and do nothing, but hang tight with me just a little bit longer. Stretch your extend yourself a little bit. Stretch your brain a little bit. I know it hadn't been worked in a while. Let's get it going, man. Let's let your brain expand a little bit. You're just going to go home and watch the Cowboys probably decimate the Panthers, and it's going to stink, right? That's not what we want to go do. We want to hear where we're going. Where are we going? We're going to the place where Paul said that all things are possible. Our weapons are possible through God. And it casts down a fortified argument. What's the fortified argument? The logical side. It's logical. So those weapons cast down those imaginations. All right. If you're with me, people moving again. I know, people moving. Sorry. Whoa! Whoa! I don't know if you've seen that. That was a person. Focus. It's okay. I do it too. There they go. Love you, babe. Love you. I don't know where you're going. Everybody wants to know where you're going. You going out there? Thanks. We're just checking. Casting down imaginations. Bad translation. Terrible translation. Bad enough that it sent you on the wrong journey to the wrong place forever. How bad of a translation is that? That's awful. that they use the word imagination because really the word is computation, and computation is calculation. So, this is so good. Weapons are possible through God to pull down your calculations. And by your calculations, you are a nobody. By your calculations, you got nowhere to go. You got nothing to create. You got nothing to be. But by God's mighty weapons, you can cast down that stronghold. You can cast down that stronghold. Then what happens? You're casting down every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. Let me rescue that from your bad theology, all right? It don't mean a bunch of crazy stuff about you obeying and being a good little boy or a good little girl. You know what it means? Obedience is very simple. It means attentiveness. Disobedience means inattentiveness. So, and having in a readiness to vindicate all inattentiveness. Oh, there goes a person. Oh, when your obedience, attentiveness, here we are. You're listening. Great. It's fulfilled. Cram full. Cram full. I'm awake to the fullest measure of my existence, and I've never felt like I've been more important to be doing something that I'm doing right now. I feel like this is the most important thing that I've ever done outside of what I've done with my wife and my children. I feel like what I'm saying right now is more important than anything I've ever done. Is that enough for you to hang in there just a little bit longer with me and go instead of going nowhere and doing nothing? Right? Pretty big deal. All right. So, all right, going on a fantasy trip here. Michael sends me a reel on Instagram. Michael, it's you. Thank you, Jesus. It's you. Michael sends me a reel on Instagram. It's about a NASA scientist that NASA hired to do a creativity test in the 60s. You ready? It's wild. George Land. Michael sends me literally a 30-second, probably not even 30-second, maybe 30-second clip of George Land making this creativity test in the 1960s because NASA, and that's what got the astronaut, right? NASA connection, right? The universe is not falling apart. We're putting things together. That's why I'm wearing this shirt, right? That's for all you atheists out there that say that everything's going to hell, right? No, it's coming together. That's why I'm wearing the shirt and talking about NASA and George Land, right? Coming together. It's what the universe does. Okay? So George Land, NASA scientists wanted to make a test so they could stop hiring people that sit in front of their TV and do nothing, and instead hire people that have creativity. He makes a test, but the first people they test are children. And they tested children from the ages of 4 and 5. They tested a load of children, a bunch of children. You know what they found? 98% of children from the age range of 4 to 5 are effectively genius. Effectively genius. Look, this is Einstein. Everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it's stupid. It is stupid. I was making sure I didn't write it wrong. Yeah, I thought I had a grammatical error that could make me look illogical. You're so stupid. You're such an idiot. Yeah, it's being kids. Calm down. Calm down. This is how we talk, right? But George Land makes that test. The 4 to 5-year-olds pass. 98% genius. They take the test 5 years later. 30-something%. I don't have time to get the actual figures. Just go with me. 5 years later, when the kids are 15, 12%. And he said that all the people that were administrating the test got depressed and never wanted to take it again. Because they realized with that creativity test that we are effectively educating our creativity out of our children and out of ourselves. We're taking away our ability to create, and we're giving children pencils and walls, and we're telling them that they can't paint their door hanger the color that they want to paint it. They've tested hundreds of thousands of adults since then. 2% are operating on a genius level of creativity. Why is this significant? Because Jesus said
If you want to even enter the kingdom, you have to be like that 2%. And from the looks of it, we're not living in the kingdom. We're living in a very sad existence. Oh, God, that you don't have to live in. I'm so happy to tell you that it's not all falling apart. It's all coming together. It's all coming together. Michael sent me that clip, and I knew with every fiber of my being that man and me have to collaborate. Problem is, he's dead. But he left behind some books, and I've been reading those books. So when I watched that Instagram reel, I said, I'm going to order that book. So I ordered his book. In the process, all right, since I'm already getting a little stupid, teary, I'm going to play something that's going to make me not teary, because I want to tell you something, all right? Does anybody know what this is anymore? My dad called me over to the house and said, I want to show you some stuff. And he played a long tape for me that he found of my grandmother. Focus with me. Whatever you're doing, focus, lock in just for a few minutes with me. He gave me this tape, but he played another tape for me of my grandmother. He said, I also found this one. This is you, but I can't make out nothing you're saying. You're just being a kid. My grandma wrote the words, I guess this is Mama, this could have been Mom, AJ himself when he was little. Are you ready? Is that you work one of these? I know what I'm doing, man. I got some experience with this. You about to find out where I got my skills from. Are you ready?
Well, it's time to say hello to the new AJ. Because
All right. I know it's a lot. It's funny, right? But listen to the words. Listen to the words, because that's what me and my dad did first. It's just me being a kid, right? But listen to the words that I literally say.
I didn't know what to say. It's time to say rocket. Yeah. What do we do? We're gonna do it so fast. I'm gonna fool around with my toys. With some good grades. I'm gonna be a good boy. I'm a new AJ. I'm gonna get good grades. Do everything. Play with my toys and do some sports. Do some rock. Do some radio. Do my guitar. Do some singing. Do some listening. Do some watching. Do some TV. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do my homework. It's time to say hello to the old AJ. The old AJ was weird, but it's time to say hello.
All right. So, funny, cute. Oh, cute. I wish all women would get together and just forever never say that word again. Because it really holds up the stuff I try to preach. Oh, it's cute. No, it's God. All right. So what I said was, it's time to say hello to the new AJ. The old AJ was weird, but it's time to say hello to the new AJ. I'm going to make good grades. I'm going to be a good boy. I'm going to play my guitar, watch TV, play with my toys. And that may be the first and only record that I'll have or experience to the moment that I started trying to become something that I was not. Because I thought I had to be a new AJ. I thought I had to be something different than that. Can't you see who I am now? Can't you see who I am? I'm no different than I was. But you know what I went through to get to this place? I had to learn to break the egg. But now I know that the egg can be put back together spiritually. I know that what has been broken can be put back together because I feel a reflex and my imagination is being reinstated. All right, so I had that. I went to my dad's house, had that experience, got that tape. So then I had a dream. You testify this morning about a lucid dream that you had about Don Doster. Very real. Literally Don. Teresa, you had a dream. Literally a vision of what we're going to see with children dancing. I had a dream that my dad gave me one of my grandma's Bibles. Dad, I haven't even told you this, but I had a dream that my dad gave me one of Grandma's Bibles, which did happen in real life, but now we're in the dream, right? Because you want to know what else George Land talks about? I'm not going to read you the book because we don't have time because you got to go somewhere and do nothing, right? Nowhere and do nothing. I'm not going to finish that. I'm just going to tell you. He wrote a book that told us how to activate the kid reflex. He didn't say reflex. I'm saying reflex. I like that. I like that because of my confusion, my logical brain that didn't work. I thought reflex, blah, blah, blah. So he said how to turn back on the 5-year-old is dreaming. And we all do it nightly. Carl Jung also says that dreams are the gateway to your imagination. Wow, that's awesome. All right, so George Land said that dreaming unlocks the imagination, right? Okay, so I had a dream about my dad giving me my grandma's Bible, all right? And in that Bible, she underlined a bunch of scripture, all right? And in that Bible that had scripture underlined, she had words underneath the underline that said, like the kid. Like the kid, like the kid. And I remember this because I got up and I wrote my dream down. Okay? So if you're not doing that, I'm kind of new at the game. Get you a dream book like the Indians used to do. And they were on to something. A dream catcher, man. Hang you a dream catcher up, right? That's magical, spiritual, man. Not logical, right? You want to be logical and watch the Cowboys? That's fun, right? Sorry, that was too much. You're offended, and I'm sorry, loser. Anyway, all right. So, such a loser. All right. So George Land, I'm finishing. So George Land said that in the dream, Mama, she's got like the kid under all these verses. Underline like the kid, underline like the kid, underline like the kid. So I'm writing down the dream, and the only scripture I remember is grafted in, right? So I turn there in my Bible and I read that scripture, and it does nothing for me. It's not really, doesn't get me anywhere. So then I turn to Google, which is also a device that we can use in the kingdom. Because if it's not in the Bible, right? Nope. I'll just go to Google where I have access to all intelligence. All information is at our fingertips, and we're watching the Cowboys and the Braves. I Googled the word childlike and grafted in. And from that Google search pops up this book called In All. Do you know what my dad said to me in the dream? When I looked at him, I looked down at the Bible. I saw that she had underlined everything that said, like the kid. I said, Dad, wow. I don't know what I said in the dream, but I remember what he said. He said, ain't it awesome? Ain't it awesome? And then this pops up. And do you want to know who's in this book? George Land.
So tell me how God didn't go through my grandmother and my dad in another reality, in my dream, in my imagination, to connect me to this book, which tells us about the five senses that we should be operating in as children. Number one, wonder. Why? Wonder. Remember when you used to why? You know how CEOs are CEOs? Because they say why? They say why? Number two, expectancy. The last time that I talked about this, really, I think it was Babyface, we had a curtain up. Josh and I talked about credence, and you brought this up not long ago. My little girl came up to us while we were talking, and I said, watch this. And I told her, there's a red Ferrari behind that curtain up there. She ran. No, she didn't say, that's what we say. Yeah, I saw that. I heard that, which is great. That's what we say. There's a red Ferrari up there. Leanne said, She said, No, she didn't say, She ran up here and looked behind the curtain. And Josh and my mistake, one of the biggest mistakes of our life probably, is to stop talking about whatever junk we were talking about and go up there with her and ride in that red Ferrari. Because we had an opportunity to reflex. Expectancy. She expected to see the red Ferrari. What are you expecting to see with your life? More of the same? More of the same? Or abracadabra? Number three, immersion. We were sitting at Melody's awards ceremony. I told you it's going to be weird. I don't know what you expected. We were sitting at her award ceremony where she got this award, and inside the stroller was a little pamphlet, okay? Balled up pamphlet. I opened up the pamphlet. It's been in there a while. It's been in our stroller a while. So we opened up the pamphlet. It was a guided tour from Myrtle Beach, where we went on vacation a couple months back. So for the duration of time from then to now, we've been cruising around that stroller with some little pamphlet for a guided fishing tour in that stroller. I'm telling you that's significant because I opened it up and I wondered, man, when did we stick this in here? And Credence says we got that at, what was the name of the place? Crab Catchers. Credence said, we got that at Crab Catchers. I'm like, what are you talking about? And Kristen's like, she's right. That's where we got that pamphlet. You know what that is? Oh, my God. You know what that is? Immersion. Immersion. She was immersed. She was immersed in the moment. That may not be significant to you. You know why it's not? Because you're logical, sensible. A vegetable. That's what we are, vegetables. We need to turn on our imagination and be locked into the moment like she was to be able to know. She knew where we got that pamphlet. It's just a pamphlet, AJ. Yeah, but it's a pamphlet that's in the universe that I'm in, and my daughter was immersed in a moment and was locked to that moment and remembered where we got it. We can't even remember what we did this past weekend because we're not immersed. We're not in the moment. We're not in wonder. We're not expectant. We're not immersed. Fourth one's belonging. What do we belong to? Sure can't be God, can it? Or could it be? Am I His? Are you His? Do you really believe that? So what are you believing that's stupid for yourself that's about to happen tomorrow? Are you believing you're going to go back to work and do the same stuff that you always do? Or are you believing that you are going to abracadabra the crap out of something tomorrow? Are you going to abracadabra, or are you just going to go back to work and go back home and do something? No, nothing. Number 5 is freedom. Of course, I don't have to expound on that. That's Marshall, right? That's the laugh. So, all right, I'm going to omit that. I posted this on Facebook last week. This is an Einstein quote that I don't have up there. Get ready. Imagination is more important than knowledge, okay? Imagination is more important than knowledge. That's Einstein. Probably a smart guy to listen to. except on quantum mechanics. For knowledge is limited to all we know and understand, while imagination embraces the entire world and all there ever will be to know and understand. So I posted that on Facebook. 1 hour later, Francois Dutoit, on the other side of the globe, who we met last December, posted about his granddaughter, posted some pictures that she had drawn, and she says, "Why I love art. When I do art, it takes me on an adventure into magical places. And I can draw anything I want, even things that don't exist." Cute, real. Oh, God. Oh, I'm a loser. Yes, I'm a loser. This little girl. All right, we're keeping cute. All right, call the women. We're keeping cute. Cute, realistic, and goofy. That's the universe, man. Come on. I'm not putting this material together. It's coming together. All right. Cute, realistic, and goofy. It's fun to use my imagination. Art is my favorite thing to do. That was 1 hour after I posted the Einstein quote. Coincidence? No, says I. Kristen said, while I was preparing last night and running all this craziness by her, she said, "Oh, my God, let me go to Melody's room." She said that same day that you posted that, the day before, Melody had been drawing these things. Look at that. It almost looks like the same drawing. I know you can't see all of it. All right. Here's me. There's me. If you're not paying attention, you're missing a really amazing experience here. That's my daughter drawing me. Everybody got a sticker today that's here. If you're watching online, come next Sunday, we'll give you a sticker. You know why I picked Pokemon last night? Because I went to Walmart and I realized, I said, I want to buy stickers for everybody because they probably haven't been excited about it. They don't even know they're excited about that sticker yet. I'm going to tell them they're excited about that sticker. Because you're excited about that sticker because the sticker used to be the reason you got excited when the doctor even came up. That's the only reason my mom could get me there. You'll get a sticker. You'll get a sticker. So you got your stickers on. Raise your hand if you're wearing your stickers proudly. Sticker people. We're sticker people. We got our stickers on, man. We're wearing our sticker. You know the reason I picked Pokemon? Because Kristen was sitting there watching TV, doing nothing, I guess is what we were doing. And a commercial came on. It wasn't even a Pokemon commercial yesterday. And she sung, "Gotta catch 'em all." This is some universe trippy junk. I would say another word, but y'all would be so offended I'd never recover. This is trippy. I would say, and I would so want my spirit wanted to say another word. It would have been better, but I can't say it yet. One day, maybe. I want to get kicked out. Yeah, don't kick me out, please. Just remember who I am. Don't kick me out. All right. I'm just going to say the word that you say all the time. Sorry, but I won't. All right. So she said, "Gotta catch 'em all." And I remembered at Walmart, there was no stickers that I really wanted to buy, but then I saw that Pokemon book, and I said, I got to catch them all. I've got to catch them all. You know what Jesus said? For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. No, not one. He says in John 17, I have lost none of them. He caught them all. He caught us all. The universe has caught us all. And we are on one major trip right now. And I'm telling you, you got the opportunity to jump back in and be tripping with me. Come on, man. Let's go on a trip. Let's go abracadabra some stuff. Let's create with our words. Let's live this life like the kid that wanted to be something new that was told to be something new. Because George Land equates all of our genius level, losing our genius level, to the school system. All of it. George Land said it's all education. You know why? Because the reason our schools are set up the way they are was because they wanted us to be good factory workers. That's why there's a bell that rings. And you know what I am? You know what I become? a factory worker. But watch what I'm about to do. Because I'm not going to become something. I'm going to be in that factory. I'm going to be just like you're going to go be. Just like you're going to go be. When you put mail in those mailboxes, you're going to be being when you put mail in those mailboxes. Come on now. Danny, when you go check those lines, you're going to be being as you check those lines. Come on, Brent. Come on now. When we go back being something. Abracadabra. To hell with your stupid, boring weekend. Abracadabra. Abracadabra. Do something. Create. Create. All right, last thing. I know it's long, but I don't really care how you feel. I do. I care. I care a little bit. But I don't care about how the man feels. I care about how the kid feels in you. I'm too worried. We're too worried about caring about what the man thinks. What does the man think of this? What does the man think of that? What does the man think of this? What do my parents think? What do they think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Do you think? Do you think? Do you think anymore? Or are you worried about what they think? What he thinks? What she thinks? Last thing, and I guess I'll finish up Wednesday night. Oh, we won't be here Wednesday. Sorry. We won't be here Wednesday. Yeah, y'all get ready. 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 We're going to do a baptism. Hopefully it's real special for all of us. Hopefully it's an opportunity for you to get back into something, to dip back into the waters of imagination. The kid reflex. Hopefully it's an opportunity for you to reflex back into an imagination restored, imagination reinstated. All right, listen. Listen. I'm almost finished, I promise. The law of entropy. All right? The law of entropy, you'll really like this. The law of entropy is this. The law of entropy is a measure of the disorder of a system. On average, all of nature proceeds to a greater state of disorder. Okay? That was created by Rudolf Clausius in the early 1850s. And for years, since 1850, science has believed the law of entropy, which is basically saying that the universe is a big motor and it's wearing out and it's going nowhere and it will be nothing. Science believes that and has believed it since 1850. Even Einstein believed it and said, don't challenge it because it's what I believe. Einstein really believed it. So did Newton. So did all these people in science. So that's the law of entropy, right? That's the law of it. That's our rock. That's truth. The universe is going to fall apart. It's going to wear out like a big motor. That's the law of entropy. Except the last thing that George Land wrote was a book that was about the law of entropy being turned around because of centropy. You know what centropy is? Centropy is when all things come together. And in this book, George Land proves that the universe is coming together. So since 1850, the science community has only been able to operate within the fence of the law of entropy. You know what the church in the West has operated in since 1850? The rapture. Get ready, man. Get ready. The word rapture is not in your Bible. John Darby invented the rapture. Guess what year? 1830. Guess when it was popularized? 1850. So simultaneously, the science community and the Western church believed the lie that everything was falling apart and everything was going nowhere and doing nothing, much like the logical brain that we all have. Except there's a reflex. There's an opportunity. George Land proves that the law of centropy, it's the theory of centropy, overcomes the law of entropy, that the universe is coming together. Jesus, here's all you need for rapture. You still believe the rapture? Ask Jesus. Here's what Jesus said. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. So if we're going to be sucked off the face of this thing, why is Jesus proving and telling us that if we just become humble like the kid,
It's a reflex. So, you want a reflex? When you get home and you get by yourself, I'm going to help you experience that one time. Now, I'll give you this one time. This is the last thing I'll say. This is how you do it. Get by yourself at home, and this is how you reflex. This is the kid reflex. This is how imagination is reinstated, right? You ready? You put your right hand in. You put your right hand out. You put your right hand in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. And that's what it's all about. Right. That's the hokey pokey. That's the hokey pokey, and we all know how to do it, right? Do you know what Jesus said? Converted is strepho. Do you know what strepho means? To turn yourself around, baby. So you put your left foot in, you put your left foot out, you put your left foot in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey, and you turn yourself around, and that's what it's all about. One more verse. You put your whole self in, you put your whole self out, you put your whole self in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey, and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. One more time. That's what it's all louder, louder, louder. Come on. That's what it's all about. That's all, folks. I love him because he first loved us.